So once you've written your resume, your first resume draft, it's time to get feedback, right? Ideally, you find a professional in the field or someone that has had a similar kind of job, because then they can really look through it and say, hey, if I was hiring for this position, I would hire you because you put this, or this doesn't look good, I don't understand it. And they can give you some really specific feedback about the information you put. But if you can't get that, any adult that has had a job and has written a resume is helpful to have go through it. And then they can just kind of catch general things that either I don't understand what you're saying here, this language doesn't make sense, you spelled this wrong, your grammar's wrong, right? Make sure someone's going over it, editing it, and giving you feedback. Couple things to note. If you don't have a ton of experience, your resume probably should be tried to kept to one page. Honestly, no matter how much experience you have, a resume should never be beyond 2 pages. I've received 4-page resumes. You want to know how many pages I read of those? Probably not even two. Um, just because it's just too much, right? Like, if you do not need to put all that experience, you don't need to describe every single thing you did. Again, nobody, well, few people read every single bit of your resume. And so the more dense it is, the more likely they won't read any of it. So that's why it's really important to have like bullet points in different sections and make it really easy to read. If you look at this, what we set up here, right? Like I'm keeping it short, I'm keeping it brief, just get to the point, establish with good key action words what you really did, and move on, right? Like I can scan this, look at it, okay, they're looking for it, further develop, okay, so they have a little bit of skills in app development, okay, they're a tech expert, okay, so they've had some leadership, boom, I roll down here, here are their skills, oh great, they're Spanish speaking, I actually need that, right? That's it. The resume should be really easy to glance through. So again, get feedback from somebody that is not you, because you're always going to want to put more into your resume than is necessary. You'll probably over explain things, so you need to get some feedback on it. Do not ever assume that if you're the only person who's looked at your resume that it's ready to go to the next people for your job or whatever. All right. Um, Obviously, before you have a professional look over it, though, read it and revise it yourself. Make sure you don't hand them something with a bunch of grammar and spelling mistakes, because that's a waste of their time. If it's actually a professional in the field, you want to make sure that they can really focus on the content and not be distracted by the fact that you spelled everything wrong and we're too lazy to spell check. So, again, proofread and revise it before you hand it on if you're getting some professional feedback. But that's a really important stage because they're going to be the ones who can best tell you what to do, right? Like, again, with what I wrote, yeah, I've written a bunch of resumes before, but my language is still not clean. I need some help from somebody to remind me, like, hey, that doesn't really sound good. I don't understand what that means. Describe this better. Or, that doesn't really make sense. That's not real experience. Don't put that in there. You need that kind of feedback for your first resume and really any resume you ever write.